Hey everyone, welcome to the Random Spirit Podcast. I am your host, Cynthia. It has been so long since I have been potting. A lot has happened. I've been taking a lot of breaks, a lot of reflecting. I'm in this era in my life where there's just like so much change and a lot of transformation within me. It's a lot. It's a lot. But here we are. I am in the Target parking lot. So if you hear peacocks, there's peacocks literally next to Target right here. And cars and carts. I apologize. I apologize. Today's episode is going to be on reflections and projections. Yes, reflections and projections. Um, this break that I have taken from potting has just taught me just like so much. I'm such a perfectionist, and I'm learning to just do things and just like go with the flow, and like not everything needs to be perfect, right? With my Virgo sun, Virgo rising, Capricorn moon, it's very difficult for me to go on and accept that like things can't be perfect, right? I was at my mom's and I was trying to record this podcast, and you know how like the smoke alarms, how like it goes, like it chirps, and I'm like, bro, why didn't my dad not change the fucking battery? Anyways, so yeah, I had to get out of the house and, come to the parking lot. And yeah, so today we are speaking on reflections and projections. And, I have just been like learning so much with the books I've been reading and the teachings. And there is this book that I have been really just into, and it is called A Course in Miracles. And it is honestly, it is just so life changing. And it's like a lot of information that, I need to go on and just soak in, right? Um, the disappearance of the universe as well. The previous episode that I have before this one is with Loren, and she speaks on the disappearance of the universe. And it's so funny how that was the last episode that I had put, and then now it's like I finished reading The Disappearance of the Universe. And I am on chapter 15 of the manual, no, the text, I'm sorry. The text of A Course in Miracles, because it's like three books in one. Um, you know, I'm done reading The Disappearance. I'm like reading through A Course in Miracles, and it's just so interesting to just like, I was listening to the last episode and I'm like, wow, like there's just so much that I have learned, so much that I'm like integrating, just so much knowledge, right? And I'm referring these books because of the fact that the reflections and projections, like the topic of that, like I've learned a lot from The Disappearance of the Universe and from A Course in Miracles, more on the A Course of Miracles. So, um, reflections, right? And this is like one thing that took me a while and is still, right? Taking me some time to just like really just like, take in, right? And reflections. Every single person that you choose to interact with, every single person in your life is a reflection of you. All right. And it's regardless of whether it's the most fucked up reflection, whether it's like an amazing reflection, what the fuck is this reflection? Everyone is a reflection of you. They're reflecting a part of you, right? And it's interesting because I feel like it really hits when it comes to, family for me. Um, because the other day I was just like, oh, like let me go on and like go down the line and see like what everyone like reflects on me. And it's it's just so crazy to see that like the the reflection of, like my siblings, the huge, big, wounded reflection from like my parents, right? Um, so go on and like sit down and like ask yourself, right? Like with the family members that you choose to interact with, that like, your immediate family, your everyday, it's just like, what what are they trying to teach you? What reflection, what are they reflecting? Another thing having to do with like, the reflections is every single person in your life is there to teach you something. And again, regardless of whether it's like the most fucked up lesson or like whatever, right? And I have been learning to like shift my perspective. I've just been in this like air element, which is funny because I truly feel like, perspective and shifting that perspective for me has helped me to forgive, has helped me to not take things so fucking seriously. So just really just going on and just like looking at fucked up situations in my life. And, instead of being in this victimhood, right, that I have been trapped in, and just really just like sitting with myself and asking myself, Cynthia, what can you take from this, experience with this person? What can you take from this relationship with this person? I have been like so like in my head in this like air element, and it's interesting because the air element with the chakras, because y'all know like I be doing chakras in my shadow work. I love the chakras, and it's like the air element has to do with the heart space. And a question that I've been asking a lot on this journey, on this spiritual journey, on this journey to self, like this question that I've been asking myself is, how do you forgive? Something that I've been asking myself. Cynthia, how do you forgive? Because again, I have this like way. I mean, I'm gonna fucking admit, right? I'm fucking human. I'm healing. I have this way of like I hold on to the past and I'm like in this victimhood. And then, something I've learned is just like really just like, Cynthia, taking that deep breath and just, telling myself, what can you take from this? Right? Take that pain, integrate that shit, and, you know, going into that headspace and shifting my perspective, not taking it, so seriously, certain, situations. I've been doing so much inner work, so much. And obviously, the results to that is going to be there is change on the outside, on like my outside world, right? And one of the things that has been extremely difficult for me to go on and deal with is the ego, is my ego. Again, going on with, reflections, because one thing that I have noticed is that just like with, certain family members, I feel like they reflect like my ego. And it's difficult because I was in this like headspace of I'm going to sit here and I'm going to match energies. And I've learned over time, Cynthia, like choose your battles. Choose your battles. And, I'm living in this world where I'm always fucking defending myself and I'm always like fighting. I'm always trying to prove my point. And I've like worked on that. I am still working on it, right? Because the ego, again, is just like so difficult to deal with. Um, so yeah, it's it's a lot to go on like and sit here and like someone is like feeding off of my energy, right? Someone sitting here and like I'm giving tood and they're giving me tood 10 times. And I'm like in those moments I'm like Cynthia, don't pop off. So a lot of inner work again, like I had said, so much inner work and just like I feel like the way to inner peace is to understand yourself, right? So first it's like self-awareness, right? A little shadow work. It's self-awareness. And then it's, just going on and like identifying like, your triggers and like whatever, like what is it, like how is it that you react, right? And getting to the root of it, there's like a process. And just like what are you going to do about that? Are we going to continue to go on and act the way that we act, whether it's victimhood or whether you want to be this raging bitch like how I used to be? Like what is that getting you? Where is that getting you? And I feel, again, this is me, this is my experience, I feel that family is one of the most difficult things to go on and deal with those reflections and to go on and like undo the ego, right? The teachings of A Course in Miracle, and from what I read, because your girl's on chapter 15, from what I read, it's like the ego wants you to sit here and be miserable. The ego just sits here and it's like gonna continue and feed into the separation, and it's just this fucking cycle of like misery. It's this cycle of like anger, right? All those like bad like negative emotions, and it's always in competition. And it's hard. It's hard. Something that A Course in Miracles says about the ego, which kind of like makes me chuckle, is the it's like the ego is insane. Anything that is not right-minded, right, which is the Holy Spirit, anything that is not like right-minded is insane. Anything that feeds into the ego is insane. And I stand by that 100%. We live in a world of insanity. I am on the road to undoing my ego. And I know that I'm not gonna fully get there in this life, right? The road to enlightenment is going to be long, I know. I'm learning so much, learning not to match energies. That's not the like that's just like something that I just don't necessarily want to do. I mean, yeah, like sometimes I could feed into it, but I'm trying to like reprogram and um decondition my mind from that. To anyone listening, I want you to pause and ask yourself this question. What are your reflections saying about you? What can you learn from whatever is being reflected onto you? What is that, right? Pause and just reflect on that. Reflect on that. Something that I've noticed, it's so like this whole reflection thing, I can go on and on, is even in my readings, it's like there's a theme every time. And like the theme that I've been getting is women in their like masculine energy, women that are in this fight or flight, women that can be like extremely indecisive, and I know that screams a part of me because I am currently in my healing girl era. I'm trying to be in my soft girl era, and it's it's difficult. It's difficult because I don't know how to be. I don't, right? I'm learning to embrace the divine feminine. I am and learning to undo the ego and just I'm still working on my like wound. I'm still working on my father wound. I'm still working on the relationship that I have with men, right? I'm trying to, work with, the relationship that I have with the ego. Here is some advice that I have for anyone that is in this survival mode. Anyone that is always fighting, always defending themselves. Anyone that is in their toxic masculinity, regardless of your gender, regardless of whether you are a male or a female. Work on your relationship with God. Work on your relationship with yourself, right? Work on that third eye. Work on the crown chakra. Work on those two energy centers. Work on them. That third eye is going to help you trust in the messages that you get from God. It's going to help you trust in the messages, whether it's from God, like, I mean, we're all connected. It's all the same thing. But, our spirit guides, ancestors, whatever it is, it's just like trusting in you and trusting in your body because you are going to be like going down this journey on where it's going to feel like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I'm doing this blindly and work on those two energy centers so that you can better connect, right? And why am I channeling? Oh, it's like a whole reading on here. Um, it's like, what I'm getting and like the message that I'm getting is ask and you shall receive. God speaks to us. The Holy Spirit speaks to us through people. They speak to us through events, right? Like our spirit team, the Holy Spirit, which is the higher self, God, which is, the creator, source, speaks to us through people, through events, right? Through everything. We're all, connected. Whether, there is a fucking like ladybug that lands on your hand, or, you're listening to a song, whatever, and like you ask for fucking guidance and there's like a little something in the song, um, or whatever it is, right? Because God and spirit just speaks to us in so many ways, and you need to be in the present moment to receive those messages. If you're sitting here fucking, like in this like state of victimhood and you're stuck in the past, like of course you're not gonna fucking sit here and grasp what the fuck's happening right now. If you're too hyper focused on the future, same thing. You're not gonna be fucking, you're not gonna sit here and like retain what's happening right now. I'm getting this download and this message. It's so interesting. It's like whatever, like a good way to like, test that connection with the crown, which is gonna like bleed into the third eye. It's like, I don't fucking know. If you want to like, okay, God, and be specific. Be specific because spirit is specific as fuck. Ask a question of, oh, I'm pulling something out of my ass. Is this the right career choice for me? Is working at, Sally's Warehouse the right choice for me? If it is, send me a hawk. If it's not, like, don't send me anything or fucking send me a snail. I don't fucking know. Like, practice the connection like that, if that makes sense. I just went on a tangent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But work on those two chakras. Now, we're going to get into the projection part, right? Projecting. Whew. Um, I was on this boat too. I projected um in the very beginning of my spiritual journey. I have a mother wound, I have a father wound, fuck, I have a sister wound. I have all the wounds that you can have. I have a fucking ancestor wound. Like, the connection that I have with family is just like well, okay, it was, Cynthia. It was non-existent. And it's like, yeah, old Cynthia, this old part of me that, right now I'm grieving her, but this old part of me was like, seeking comfort and like seeking people to play the roles of the fucking wounds that I had. That shit's dangerous. It is so dangerous. Like, go on and sit with yourself. What are you projecting onto others? And sometimes we can project our egos too, which goes on and bleeds into the reflections, the yeah, the reflections, the reflections of us. And it's just like really sit down and just like, shadow work, right? Ask yourself, what are you projecting? What is it that you're projecting on to, your family members? And then, for like parents or whatever, what are you projecting onto your child? What is it that you're trying to teach your child, right? And it's like, I'm getting so many downloads. This turned into a fucking spiritual session. I'm not used to this. Bear with me because again, I haven't been potting for a long time. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Let me stay in my lane. Projections. And it's just like, with the whole like, what are you projecting onto your child? And with that relationship to any parents on here, it's like, what are you trying to teach your child? And it's like, align your actions like in your words, right? What are you projecting? Right now, for me, I'm gonna go on and like flip this question onto me, right? Um, right now to me, I mean, am I projecting anything? Am I? I'm gonna do a little call out session to myself, a little vulnerable moment. Your girl's like, trying to work on being vulnerable. Um, One, I will say I'm very, I guess you can say like hesitant. There's a lot of like fear and anxiety with the sister wound. And when I say the sister wound, I'm saying like, yeah, you can say like the actual sister wound and like friendships because I'm being very cautious when I make connections because there is a part of me that is just like, oh my God, I want to be best friends. Let's be best friends for the rest of my life. And like, I'm the type of person that like, when we connect, I want to like be in each other's life for the rest of my life. I'm trying to deprogram that part of me. I know it's trauma, and my friendship circle right now, like honestly, ooh, let's see. I have Tanisha, I have Destiny. If I do not mention your name, don't get butthurt. Please don't fucking take that shit personally. I have I have Eleonora, I have Maria. So I have like a handful of friends, and I just try to like not project my sister wound onto them. And I'm being like really, really cautious about that because again, I'm fucking broken record. I'm repeating myself. There is this part of me that is just like screaming, um, like connection, is screaming like this, sisterhood. I'm going to be doing another episode with my girl Tanisha. I'm gonna be doing another episode with her on that sister wound. So I'll save the rest of that fucking rant, whatever TED talk I'm gonna have for that episode. How do we stop projecting and reflecting? Inner work, shadow work, inner child work, whatever it is that you want to call it, fucking journey to self, whatever. Because of the fact that you have the shadow side to you that you need to go on and you need to sit with yourself and you need to call yourself out. And I feel like choose your friends wisely, because you need type of friend, and these are like the people that I'm trying to like align myself with and stuff, and people that I already do have in my life, like I said, like Maria, Destiny, Tanisha. My girls be calling me out, okay, when like I need it. You can't have this friend that's gonna fucking sit here and sugarcoat everything. No, you need to have a friend that's gonna hold you accountable. You know how many times like I be on the phone with Tanisha and my girl just be calling me. She goes, Cynthia, oh my god, this is this is literally, we had the conversation last night. She goes, girl, she goes, you're masculine. I'm like, Tanisha, I'm not. I'm just, like communication. And she goes, girl, she goes, she always humbles me, and like going back to the reflections, right? I feel like, my bestie, Tanisha, is in my life. She's teaching me a lot about like the soft girl era, about the feminine, about like not popping off all the time. And we had this conversation last night where she was like, Cynthia, I think you're in my life to like help me set better boundaries and like have that more like firm masculine energy. So shout out to you, girl. I love you so much. Back to what I was saying about the projections. Um, be aware of what it is that you're projecting, and trying to find someone that is like that you trust. You use your discernment, use that intuition, use that third eye, right? Um, on whatever like friend you have that's going to help you, sit here and hold you accountable if you're going to be doing shadow work. And just that third eye and that crown chakra is gonna assist you with going on and like being able to see what is it that you project and what to do about it. Right? Like I said, shadow work, journey to self, inner child work, whatever the fuck you want to call it, um, is going to be the beginning of the undoing of that projection. And when you're doing your work, when you're doing like your inner work, when you're, like sitting with that side of you that like projects, go easy on that side of you, right? Go easy on that shadow side of yourself, because something that I go on and, I say and I teach in my shadow work and the sessions that I do is that part of you, it's like this part of you that is in a place that's not love. And whether it's in this place of rage, fear, sadness, like the whole point is that it's not a part of love. And you need to give that part of love. Don't bring shame into it, right? Going back to it again, it's that air element, it's that heart space. Shifting the perspective, the road to forgiveness. We all make mistakes. We all project. We're fucking human. And when you sit here and you do the inner work, you do the shadow work, the inner child work, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever it is that you do, um, go easy on yourself. And like, it's like you have this past self of yours and the future self of yours, you right now, to go on and work together to give each other love and to let go so that we can be in the now, we can be in the present, in this moment we have right now. And so that we don't have to continue to project, because it's like the best way that I could describe it, and this is just coming from like me and like what I'm channeling, it's like this emptiness, and it's like we feel this emptiness, and it's just like It's just this like worry, this anxiety, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I need connection, I need closeness. And then what is it that we do? We go out and we seek that connection and that closeness. And it's like, yeah, like we look past the red flags in relationships and we're just like, yeah, I'm gonna grab you and I'm gonna put you in the hole that I have for the mother wound, and now my mother wound is not like empty, right? I don't have that feeling of emptiness. Work on it. Sit with that bad feeling, right? Sit with whatever bad emotions and understand that they're they're valid. You're human. Hello, you're not a fucking robot. Like, you are here to like express your emotions. Let them be, right? Like, if you're feeling some type of way, and if you like can, something that I used to do and I still do, it's like I lay down and I do a little mental check and I'm like, okay, body, like, what are you telling me? You know? And I'll be like, God, like, what is it that, what emotion is arising? What the fuck is going on? Because, your girl here there's a lot that I've suppressed, you know? And then as I'm going through this healing journey, like, a lot is changing, right? My love language, my, trigger response. Your girl's in freeze mode now. Um, and it just like takes time for me to process, and it's like it's change, and understanding that change is good. That is it on this episode of Reflections and Projections. I'm going to go on and bring in something that I used to do when I first started my podcast. I'm going to be like pulling a card, and this is just going to be for the collective, to anyone that crosses like my podcast and listens to it. And I don't know if you guys can hear, I'm shuffling and I'm about to pull a card. So this is a card, for the collective. And then interestingly, as I'm recording, today is a full moon. It's the 23rd of April, full moon. This episode will probably be out Friday or Saturday, but yeah, so full moon energy in Scorpio. Okay, so the card that I pulled is Sage. Okay, and the message, it's be devoted and committed. This card and the energy of this card is this powerful devotion to whatever journey path it is that you are taking, right? And it's like, this is a message for me too. Cynthia! This has to do with commitment. Commitment. Commitment, being able to commit to your growth, right? What journey are you on? Whether this is a journey to spirituality, right? A journey to self, right? A journey to the relationship that you have with source. Because again, I don't know why I keep seeing this, I'm seeing like a lotus flower, and I know that's the sign that my grandma gives me whenever it's associated with the crown chakra. So like, be devoted to the that relationship you have with God, with source, with the universe, whatever it is that you want to call it, right? Be devoted to that. And then, I feel like this is a message for me too, because I need to be devoted to continue to undo the ego. Let me read more of this. So it says, devotion is a powerful energy. Right now, angels and ancestors want to acknowledge how committed you are to your growth. Your continued dedication to this aspect of your life has been recognized, and your understanding that you are not only a body but also a soul is all you need to continue growing and expanding. The energy of oneness is offering itself to you now, and it's important to take some time to integrate it all so that you can be supported and guided by it. This is what the divine wants for you. make a note of experiences or teachers making themselves known to you at this time, because you are going to share those teachings to one day. That is such a beautiful message that I have from that. So, devote um your time and your energy to whatever it is that you're doing, and like, be committed to it. Take this if it resonates. This is just like a download that I'm getting. I know this shit's resonating with me, but um be devoted to, like, deprogramming that mind. We're breaking generational curses. There's a lot of people in this time that are, like, doing so much work. We're breaking fucking ancestral, like, we're healing ancestral trauma. We're breaking so many generational curses, and we're like going into the depth of, like, hell, and coming out of it and integrating that shit. Like, there's a lot of us that are doing that, right? And celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Pause and just look at how far you've gone. Give yourself all the credit, because, like, at the end of the day, like, you are so fucking amazing. It ends with you, right? It ends with you. I know it ends with me. And just like doing this shadow work is just so it's exhausting, and it's draining, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned. And a lot of the times I question my own existence. I question, like, what is life? Like, what the fuck? And again, what's helped me is just like being in the heart space and just um trying to go easy on myself, taking a lot of rest, a lot of breaks from, my work, and just like just trying to be in the moment with me and my children. And yeah. So that is the fucking message of the day. I hope everybody listening to this enjoyed this podcast. Um, I will be having my readings and my podcast completely separate. I'm gonna go on and see how I'm gonna go on and do it. Obviously, once this is posted, I will be putting the links to the actual, like, TikTok and Instagram that I'm gonna have associated with my podcast. And yeah, if anyone is interested on my journey and my content, or getting readings, booking a session with me, I am a shadow worker. The link for that will also be in the show notes. And Heal with Cynthia is my Instagram and my TikTok that I have for my readings. And then I'm going to have something separate for my podcast. So much love to you all. Celebrate yourselves. It ends with you, right? We're breaking generational curses. We're fucking amazing. I hope you all have an amazing day. Until next time, bye.